Hi, everybody. As you can tell, this is a completely different background. Tommy and I are today talking about what happens when either you or somebody deliberately buys counterfeit objects. So, Tommy, have you ever given it any thought to what happens when either you or, well, obviously not you personally, but if somebody goes out and buys counterfeit objects, what do you think happens?
Are you talking about like a product, like a counterfeit, like, or are you talking about like you're not talking about counterfeit money, right?
I'm not talking about money in this instance, no. I'm talking about, you know, I read an article quite a while back now, and it was about millennials, particularly in New York, who have the money to buy luxury goods. However, they can't be bothered to because, and this is a really, really serious issue, the originals have gotten so bad that the counterfeit's so good, they would much rather put their money in the counterfeit goods. But do you know what actually happens when they do that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought about that, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so what actually happens is not only do they harm the original brand, that's one thing, but the other very, very, very serious thing is they are actually supporting organized crime.
That's
true. Did you know that? Did you know that?
That makes sense because they're breaking the law, yeah.
But also, actually, the organized crime I'm talking about is the people who are creating like drug wars and illegal, human trafficking and all those horrible types of things. That's what they're supporting with their money. I don't think they actually know. Do you think so?
Probably not. Yeah, I'm sure most people don't even realize or think anything of it. They're just looking at what they're getting for their money. I'm sure they're not thinking about anything else. Most people, anyways.
Yeah. And I think that that's the absolute issue, because first of all, we have to somehow convey to the luxury brands, hang on, people, you have a serious issue here because your products, you've let the standard of your products slide so far down. People are actually buying deliberately counterfeit objects. They may have actually, these people have a collection of the originals, but then all of a sudden, they come to realize that the originals fall to pieces and they can buy a counterfeit which is higher quality. And I mean, that's completely, first of all, crazy, but it's also the opposite of what you would expect. You would expect the counterfeits to be really shoddy and then to have the originals be the high, excellent quality. But no, that's no longer the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of items, it seems like, where the counterfeit item is just like what you're saying, is just as good or better than the original. And I mean, you even see it in emails and stuff, where you can't tell if the email came from the actual company or if it's one of them fake emails. You know what I'm talking about? Or if it's one of them fake emails.
I think that sometimes with those emails, what you do is you either click or tap on the name, and then you often see that it's a completely crazy email that it's coming from. Because I've got some of those emails as well, and it's about being on your toes, so to speak, and realizing, hang on, this email, is that who I think it's from? Oh, hang on, it isn't. Delete. Whereas with the actual items like those luxury handbags or even luxury clothes, you look at the label and sometimes you can't even tell the difference, and that's serious and that's really bad. But the problem is that in most cases, the items are produced in the same factory. But there is one other really, really, really serious issue, and that is medicine. Have you thought about that?
No, that'd be a big one though. Yeah, if you're not getting what you think you're getting.
So back in the day when I was still living in Denmark, and guys, this is a recording, as you might imagine. So back in the day when I was still living in Denmark, I went to this event for people like me who studied the law. Some were lawyers, some were not, and that's okay. That's not the point. The point is we were shown this video of how counterfeit medicine was created, and there weren't any of the active ingredients in there at all. It was dust and tar and paint. Imagine ingesting that and thinking you will be well. It's the exact opposite you achieve with it.
Yeah, you'll get even sicker.
And the problem is, it's for people who live in countries where either there's no social security, or it's really, really bad, or they live in like third world countries and they can't afford the normal prices of the medicine. And it just breaks my heart because these people buy the fake medicine. And honestly, we saw the original and we saw the copy and we couldn't tell the difference. And that's really bad, you know? Yeah. And when it's when it's medicine, it's even worse because it's actually harmful to the people ingesting them.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're thinking you're going and buying something and you're getting something completely different.
Yeah, imagine that. I mean, imagine that you have to go, and because you can't afford medicine at the normal rates, you go to the black or the gray market or whatever you want to call it, and you do not know what it is that you're actually buying, but it looks right, and you have no way of testing it because you're not, you don't have access to a chemical lab. So how can you know? You can't. Yeah. But and this machine that we saw a photograph of, it was standing on the roadside.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so frightening, actually. And I normally do not, I do not believe in frightening people because I don't want to scare people. I want to actually move them towards desire rather than feeling, shit, I don't know what to do here, you know, because when somebody's scared, that's not a good place to be. And that's not really what I want for people here. I want to inform people with this.
Right.
And I think, you know, as I've said before, you and I having a conversation about this is more dynamic than me just yabbing about it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah, that's yeah, that's some crazy stuff. I mean, like you said, you're not trying to scare people, but on the you know, by the same token, though, I mean, especially when you're talking about medicine, that's very, very, very important. I mean, and there's some key medicines, like for instance, I don't know if that would be one of the drugs or not, but both my parents, they're diabetics. They take insulin 3 times a day. If they got fake insulin, what would happen? They're in their 70s. Something real bad would happen to them. Yeah, if they even survived it.
Exactly. And in most cases, those people do not survive because they've been ingesting whatever fake medicine for a while, and then suddenly, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's
which is the exact opposite of what you want, because you think that you're buying the actual product, and then it turns out, no, you weren't. You were buying counterfeit BS.
Yep. Man. Yeah, those people need to be locked up, in my opinion, whoever's selling it. Yep.
But also we need to help inform those people who are buying these items to be a little bit more alert and a little bit more on their toes, so to speak, so that they maybe start questioning what's going on here. And then also hopefully get the medical patents and the medical trademarks owners to realize that actually for the people in those areas where they can't afford the actual real medicine with the actual ingredients in there, that maybe we need to look at the pricing again and think, well, maybe we're moving towards the wrong goal here. I mean, I know understand that for many businesses that have patents and trademarks, what they want is to generate income, particularly if these companies have gone public. Sorry. And so they're on the stock market, but still it's human lives, and human lives are worth more, I feel.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that make you think here?
It just, for one, it makes me feel bad for anybody that's actually bought any of those products and they actually have them and they're taking them right now. And excuse me, sorry. And they don't even know it. And even, at least now, maybe by watching this, that'll raise enough awareness. Hopefully, they'll happen to see this and maybe at least look at the ingredients on the back of that bottle and just to
But it
see.
won't necessarily be in the ingredient list, you see, because they're so intelligent, these counterfeiters, that they copy everything. So you won't even know that it's there, but you will at least be aware if you go to not a pharmacy, because pharmacies have to provide you with the correct type of medicine. That's so when you go to a pharmacy, you're protected. However, when you go to the gray or the black market, you're not. And that's
right.
the whole point here, I think.
Yep. Stay away from those guys.
Yeah,
sure.
and the trouble is, though, if you don't have the money to buy the medicine, what on earth do you do then? How do you get the medicine?
Yeah, that's a tough issue that I'm sure lots of people are looking at, especially with the way inflation and stuff's been going up. I mean, a lot of people are probably having to choose between, food or medicine, or buying their medicine or having electricity or whatever the fact is. I mean, I know here in the United States, I talk to people all the time that literally, you know, that's what they're looking at. That's what they're up against now, especially with school starting. That's a huge expense for everybody, anybody that has kids, you know, and that's just another expense added on top of everything else. It's tough. I mean, I don't know exactly what everybody can do about it, especially depending on what country they're in, or whatever. It's different all over the world. But yeah, that's a hard decision to make. I mean,
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I live in a European country and you live in America. So already there is a big difference between our experiences, isn't there?
oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how it is there. It like gas prices, they've came back down quite a bit. Not, they're still nowhere near what they were, say, 6 months ago or a year ago. But I mean, the cost of living is, month after month after month after month, it's up 4, 5, 6% every single month. And I mean, people can't keep up with it.
And I've actually learned something really interesting about Sweden, and that is that the Swedish employers and the Swedish unions have this sort of fixed income for people who are working, who are members of a union and who are working. So that means their salary may not go up the same way food and living expenses do.
Yep.
To me, that's crazy.
That's what's happening here too. That's exactly what's happening here too. Like, say, most of these businesses, they'll give like a 2%, cost of living raise once a year, because that's what they estimate. Yeah, not everybody, I mean, but as a rule of thumb, because they're estimating that's how much inflation's going to go up, but that's not how much inflation's going up. It's going up 3 or 4 times faster than what the wages are going up. So what people are making essentially less and less and less and less money each year as the years go by. And the only option to fix that is to either get a second job you know, live a much different life than what you're used to, you know, or, you know, try to figure out a way to get a different job or a better job, or create your own business, start your own business, or whatever. You know, you got to do something though, or, you know, you look up 10 years down the road and you can't pay any of your bills.
And that's not a good result. Okay,
No.
so let's wrap this up for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it.